Hello everybody and welcome to a new video. My name is Midway and today we are taking another look at some Age of Origins gameplay. This time around I'm gonna bring you some PvP action and we're gonna also be discussing some aspects about your formation, what you should be focusing on and how you could be building a very strong army. So here we are looking at the screen, some footage that I recorded of myself, now looking to scout somebody to attack. So what I'm doing here is really trying to find somebody in the map that I think that might have some resources. I'm just trying to find somebody that's weak enough so that I can kill easily without losing a lot of troops, and then can also provide them with some big bunch of resources so I can get them for myself. So the way you do that is you just go through the map and you, knowing what sort of power you hold, you're gonna have to be the judge of that. Then you can find the people like I'm doing here and just clicking on their building or their city and just selecting as scout. So I'm just selecting those buildings that I feel like I have a big fair chance of killing easily, and then that might hold a lot of resources. But I have a limit on how many of those buildings I can scout at a time. The limit is how many fleets I have available. As you can see right here, I have a total of 4 fleets. You can unlock more by leveling up your city, and then also of course upgrading your garage, and then paying some resources in order to unlock the fleet. Now more fleets means you can also send more scouts, but also you can also do other stuff like landing extra attacks, like throwing extra attacks here and there, sending more troops and such. Now there I just collected some stuff, but I'm gonna show you my commander skills here, what I've been focusing on. So my focus as the commander skills here, as you can see, is on long range troops. So I've just gone full war skills, and I've picked everything from top to bottom that I could get some power onto the long range troops. Now why long range troops? The reason for that is because long range troops, as the name says, they're standing in the back, they're standing far away and they're shooting at stuff. And the way this game works is that the troops that are at the front, they're gonna be the first ones to be fighting against the troops that are first for the enemy. So those are gonna be the ones that are gonna be dying first. If you put your troops in the very far back, like we are doing here using the very strong long range troops, then those troops will be the last to die and therefore can do the most damage before they're even getting hit. And therefore, as you can see, I just focused everything on that so I could have the strongest long range troops. Now here, of course, you can see that I have a big bunch of wounded that I can have. I can have a total of 119,000 total wounded. You should always focus on improving your hospital. Really goes a long way in your troops surviving. And I'm also going to show you here how I've also focused excuse me, on the academy side of things, on the research, on getting everything that's long range. Getting me some long range buffs, like for example long range weapons, long range HP. I'm gonna also have here long range armor, and then on top of that I got whatever else I needed, for example draft and leadership and stuff like that. That's gonna allow you to have bigger fleets and also have a speed up the process of recruiting new troops, as well as getting any unlocks that are gonna allow me to, for example, get some sort of troops, like for example the latest kind of barracks build that you can get for getting troops. You need to learn, for example, the laser or the armor research. You gotta do that first if you want to be able to ever create those sort of troops. So now we're gonna be showing you here what kind of troops I train. The ones that I train are, in the first case here, the cannons. The cannons are the ones that I train on the factories. Those are long-range troops, of course, and therefore they're gonna be exactly what we want. They take a long time, well, not really a long time. They're sort of even with the other sort of troops that we're training, but they are trained at a lot lesser amounts because they are heavier troops, sort of. And then on the other side of things, I train my snipers. Snipers you train, in this case, at almost 800 at a time. The number doesn't really matter. They have amount of stats depending or according to this. And if I could, eventually I would get to the level 8 snipers. Right now I'm stuck in level 6 because I need to upgrade my barracks here, whatever these buildings are actually called, so I can eventually get to the strongest troops. And here on the other type of barracks, I am focusing on training my stormtroopers. They're actually pretty useful in other scenarios. They are a middle ground sort of troop, like not middle ground, but they're standing in the middle of the field and they're not in the front row and they're also not in the back row, but they're pretty strong on their own. So now let's check out what the scouts actually came back with. So as we can see, we have some information here from the scouts. We can see the troops that they have, so how tough the attack is going to be, and we can see the resources they have. So this one's pretty good. They have a lot of resources saved and they don't really have too many troops, so the attack is going to be really easy. They don't even have 5k troops defending, they barely have any defenses, and they have a lot of resources that I can take for myself. So we're going to be focusing on this one, and we're going to be going to that city, and we're just going to be starting the attack. That's what we're going to be doing. So now, when we are choosing what to attack, like, now I'm going to show you what formation I'm going for. So I'm going to use all the cannons that I have all the max level cannons that I have, because those are long range troops, as well as all the snipers that I have, because those are the 2 types of troops that I'm always researching, or rather creating. And then I'm gonna be using 1 of each max level troop that I have of every other kind. I'm not gonna be using the other lower level troops, but I'm just gonna be using 1 of each of the others, so I can have 1 unit that's gonna have to be killed. So they're gonna be taking 1 attack from the enemy before they can actually get to my long range troops. If we invest any more, since I'm not buffing my other not long range troops, these will eventually, you know, be hit, and therefore I'm gonna be just losing them if I'm not really investing into making them strong. I'm just really not wasting resources into generating those troops without really getting much out of it. Here I'm just showing you some buffs that I could be using for my items. I could also speed up my own fleet. I'm not really going to be choosing to do so just yet, but I'll end up actually doing it for the sake of the video. I don't actually use any buffs also, but I could choose to do so if I was going to be doing some sort of war, or I'm going to have to be facing much tougher opponents. Here, I'm pretty much guaranteed to be pretty much winning. Now, we're going to be going back to the scouting part of things. Scouting is pretty fun. You just got to find somebody that you feel like you're going to be killing and getting some loot out of it. But most importantly, it's fun to actually realize that the person that you just scouted, they have a lot of resources that you're excited about, and you really want to be looking forward to getting those resources. You gotta be watching out though for potentially breaking alliances, because here in this game there's a lot of limitations with what people you can attack and cannot. If you're part of an alliance and you have allied alliances, you know what I mean? You have alliances that you have a pact to not attack. Therefore, attacking those alliances could get you in a sort of war where you might lose a lot of your resources and get yourself attacked. So watch out who you are attacking, be careful. And there's also the chance and the possibility of attacking other players that you can see. That's the city that we are attacking right there. And you can see right here, this is the map. I'm going to show you where we are, my own alliance. But you can also choose to join together with the rest of your alliance and attack one person altogether. That's going to make it easier. That's our city right here. We are dominating it right now. You can choose to actually join together with other members of your alliance to basically do what we call a boss, and you just all attack at the same time. Of course, the resources you're gonna be eventually getting out of it, they're gonna be split between everybody attacking, but the attack is gonna be a lot more successful. Now, I really want to stress out the importance of following a correct formation. The formation that I showed you, the one that I'm using with the long range troops, usually is regarded to be as the safest one. It might not be the strongest one, but for the sake of not losing troops, because that's what you really want to be focusing on, not getting your troops killed, you really want to be using that one if you can. You can also choose to play other builds. Now here I'm showing you how important it is to also have pretty good equipment. Equipment is going to increase also it's going to buff your troops in many different ways. As you can see here, you get some extra HP, you get some extra attacks, some extra defenses, and you're really gonna get a lot of power out of improving your equipment. You can also see it now. I'm gonna show you a breakdown of all the buffs that these little different pieces of equipment are providing. There you can see to my troops and also to my city. So if you can focus on getting the resources necessary to craft these different types of equipment, as well as the items you put on top, that's really going to go a long way into making you a lot stronger. Now we can see some more reports here from the scoutings we did. This one's not too strong, and this one is actually terrible. They don't have any resources, so not something we're really looking for. But if it's an attack that's pretty much going to be free, because the enemy doesn't have any troops. For example, this one has a lot of troops. They have between 20 and 50k. You can get more information from scouting by leveling up a particular building that I forgot the name of, but there's a building that gives you more information when you're scouting. Here you can see the map sort of bugged out and you cannot see what's going on. But yeah, if you find somebody that you're pretty much gonna crush and have no losses, and then you're gonna be able to get some nice resources out of it, there's no reason not to go for it, right? So that's also a nice part of scouting. If you're active enough and you're consuming your mobility, really that's what's important about it, and your energy onto the titans, because the titans, of course, you're gonna be sending them to the attack. Well, here we go. We just crashed this guy. We have a little bit of a desync with the server, and therefore my troops sort of bounced and there was no combat. We also just instantly crashed the troops, the enemy troops. Here you can see what I got out of it. I barely lost any units, only lost 33 units, and I got 260k food and 193k oil. That's pretty good. Pretty much lost nothing out of it. You can see here the breakdown. I lost like 5 tanks or 5 cannons, I think they are, right? Now that's actually tanks, and then I lost 3 snipers, right? So I barely lost anything, and then my enemy didn't lose anything because they barely had any troops. They all just got wounded. But nonetheless, that's not what we're really trying to get here. We're trying to get some resources and use some of our mobility. And as I was saying, Some resource that might actually get spent is the energy on your Titan if you're attacking very actively. You can always replenish that some ways, but yeah, you're always going to be sending your Titan, of course. You can also, should also, of course, be focusing on upgrading any lower level troops. If you had some snipers and some cannons before and you did not use them, should definitely focus on getting those to max level so you can actually use them together with the reserve troops. But that was the whole video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it pretty much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye, see ya.